Hi guys, this video is for the Stoichiometric Salt lab. Make sure you have your lab report open. In this lab we're going to be using a pipette. This pipette has measurement lines on it, and this is a pipette pump. So this lets us to use this dial to draw liquids into the pipette, and it gives us a lot of control. So we just attach this pipette pump, and now we are ready to use this like a dropper, only better because it measures. So in this lab we're using an evaporating dish. Evaporating dishes are wide and shallow, and that allows us to boil away liquids. Notice it has a pouring spout on it. And we're going to be using this watch glass. The watch glass is going to behave like a lid on the dish during the reaction. Before we begin the reaction, the first thing we have to do is weigh these on a scale. So I'm turning the scale on, and I'm going to tare the scale just to make sure the zero is good. Now I'm measuring it all together. 55.05 grams, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to take my watch glass off, and I'm going to start mixing my chemicals in my evaporating dish using my pipette. The first chemical we're going to use is hydrochloric acid. I'm going to be removing 2 milliliters of hydrochloric acid. Now I'm putting the 2 mils in my dish. Now I'm going to be measuring out 2 mils of sodium hydroxide. Now if we wanted to, we could use this graduated cylinder instead of a pipette. I think pipettes are easier to use and more accurate, but if you were really careful with your graduated cylinder, that would be okay too. Now here's an important note. Hydrochloric acid is clear, sodium hydroxide is clear, and the results of the reaction are also clear. Salt water. Time to light the Bunsen burner. Since the results of our reaction are clear, salt water, the only way that we can prove how much salt there is to boil away the water, and that's why we use the evaporating dish. But when the salt gets hot, it starts to pop like popcorn, and it'll pop out of the dish, so that's why we need the watch glass. So we have the dish set on a wire gauze on top of a ring. Now the salt looks completely dry. We don't see any water droplets in there, so we're going to turn the burner off and let it cool before we weigh. And now our evaporating dish is cool, and we can put it on the scale. There you go, there's your final mass. 55.71. These are the granules of salt that were created by the reaction. We have some on the inside of the watch glass as well.